the series Liv and Maddie. It's an opportunity for Dove Cameron to really show us what she's really all about, either in the way of an EP or an album. Really excited about that. If you've heard any of Dove Cameron's music, you know what to expect off this album. But one thing I'm hoping she does is she tries to break away from the Maddie and Liv character she's portrayed on Disney for a number of years and focuses on herself, because that's really where Dove Cameron is going to show us what the peak of her potential really is all about, what she's defined for having been for all these years. It's one thing to look at her as Liv and Maddie Rooney, but the thing is to look at her as Dove Cameron, known as Claire, as her birth name. I think it's going to be awesome when she finally drops an EP or an album, even a single or two, on iTunes, because it's going to tell us more about Dove Cameron as the personality, more so than the actress or the singer. And I want to know more about Dove Cameron, even with how much I know about Dove Cameron from Wikipediaing her or looking her up on Google search sites. The thing is, I want to know more about Dove Cameron and what makes her who she is, more so than someone like a Sabrina Carpenter, a Roland Blanchard, and Olivia Holt, who we hear way too much about. And the same thing can be said from celebrities of years gone by, like Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus. We hear way too much about these same celebrities, often reiterated all the time. Taylor Swift versus Kanye West. I know you're tired of hearing about that. Kanye West claiming that he made Taylor Swift famous. Don't know if I really buy into that. I remember that from 5 or 6 years ago at the VMAs when he believed that Beyonce had one of the greatest videos of all time. Taylor Swift took exception to it, and there's still this feud going on, which is really no nonsense of having done it. I think it's been way overprofiled. I think it's been definitely overkilled, and it's time to move on. Over the last 5-6 years, I'm definitely tired of hearing about it. And you're probably wondering why isn't Jonathan Clarke talking about Taylor Swift versus Kanye West? Because it's been overrated, it's definitely been overkilled, and people like Dove Cameron, Olivia Holt, Sabrina Carpenter, Roland Blanchard never get enough credit. And I want to put it out there and make it aware that these people do exist, and they deserve this chance to be in the limelight, in the spotlight, because they have been there for a few years now without any recognition. And it's time to put away the Taylor Swifts, time to put away the Demi Lovatos in the way of overkilling them. Maybe not in the way of putting them away altogether, but giving people like Dove Cameron and Olivia Holt, along with Sabrina Carpenter, Roland Blanchard, from everything they're doing on their Disney Channel shows like Girl Meets World, I Didn't Do It, and Liv and Maddie. It's time to give them a chance, and let's see what they can really do, and let's see if they can reach the peak of their potential. And until we put away the Taylor Swifts and the Selena Gomez's in the way of conversation, who have definitely been overkilled over the last 6 or 7 years because of some provocativeness they've been tied up within, or some kind of provocative thing that they've been doing, until we put this away, the people like Dove Cameron, the Olivia Holts, are never going to get a chance to break through, which is something I'm really excited about. Some of the songs that Dove Cameron has recorded are better in stereo. Until I Have You, a song called On Top of the World, which is a great one and a true exemplification of what Dove Cameron is really all about, and that's why I'm looking forward to hearing her break away from songs that are written particularly for the TV series Liv and Maddie and writing her own material in the way of Miley Cyrus and Selena Gomez, which they all have eventually done. We all know this new side of Demi Lovato is getting a lot of attention off her album Confident. Songs like Stone Cold, Irresistible featuring Fall Out Boy, the song Confident, the title track off her new album. She's really putting herself out there. The same thing can be said about Selena Gomez, Hands to Myself, Good for You. There are so many great songs that Selena is dropping on iTunes for her revival album, of course focusing on her battle with lupus, which I am extremely proud of having her done. I think that that's amazing that she's finally come out in the open and admitted to everybody that, hey, I have lupus. It takes a lot of courage to admit that. And it's not that I don't have anything against what Selena Gomez is doing out there. I just think that it's definitely been overkill. You know, her music, the way of movie roles, different things like that. I have nothing against her speaking out on her battle with lupus, because it takes a lot of courage, just as it takes a lot of courage to admit to a lot of things in the way of the celebrity world and the entertainment business, because it's often really profiled and you don't want it overkilled on shows like E.T. or Extra or Inside Hollywood, whatever the case may be. And along with the explosion of social media too, it's definitely overkilled and profiled way too much. I have nothing against what Selena says, but I have something against how these celebrities are often overkilled and nobody else is ever given the benefit of the doubt. And that's why we see people like Dove Cameron ending up on the proverbial back burner all the time. I have a lot of respect for people like Demi and Selena, but it's time to give other people a chance. We have come into this new generation, which is obviously very apparent. We've come into this new generation that has been taken over, obviously, by the Dove Camerons, the Olivia Holts, the Sabrina Carpenters, who I was never, ironically enough, a fan of. But I've turned a 180 and done a complete 180 to 360 when it comes to Sabrina Carpenter. Really big fan of Sabrina Carpenter. Just as big of a fan of Roland Blanchard, just as big of a fan of Olivia Holt, either as a comedian, a singer. They are all multi-talented individuals, and they all deserve a spot up on that Emmy Award-winning stage or that Grammy Award-winning stage in the future, no matter if it takes 10 through 15 years, even 20. I'll go that far in the future. They all deserve a chance to shine, just as Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato eventually got to, in their careers reaching the pinnacle of what they were supposed to have represented for years. And I think this is what they're trying to do with people like Dove Cameron and Olivia Holt. It's just taking a little bit longer because not too many people know about a Dove Cameron as they do with Selena Gomez. And that has to do with being over-profiled and overkilled in the way of personal issues you have going on in your life or your professional life in the way of dropping a single or some kind of role you have with entertainment. The Grammys were awesome. The other night, the speech that I caught from Taylor Swift definitely touched me in a lot of ways, saying that eventually when you get to wherever it is you're going, you will think back on the people who made it all possible for you, referring to her fans, and the first person who popped into my mind obviously was Dove Cameron, because I always believed that Dove Cameron had a very promising future, and I still stand to that, even though I've been talking about Dove Cameron for what feels like forever. For a lot of people, I still believe that Dove Cameron has a very promising future, and I'm not going to give up on that yet, because I really believe that Dove Cameron does sound better in stereo, no matter if she's playing a double character or double role of Liv and Maddie. Sometimes they have a stunt double coming in and playing Liv. If you notice anything about Liv, Liv is significantly taller than Dove Cameron when she's playing Maddie, and sometimes there are different character traits that the stunt double for Maddie actually has that separates her from Dove Cameron, but I think there's a lot of work ethic that goes in to playing a double role. Obviously, there's a significant amount of pressure and a significant amount of definitely stress that goes into it, but I think she does a great job, and she has a huge work ethic apart from anyone else on Disney. Not saying they don't have as big of a workload, because they do, but Dove Cameron is really standing out, and without a doubt, she has become my favorite Disney Channel star of this new generation. I think that Disney is really putting out, here in 2016, if you go back, rewinding 10 years ago to 2006, they weren't really putting out as much as what they are now in 2016. They are far more creative. I mean, sometimes a show like Dog with a Blog is looked at as definitely a concept that's often reiterated and often gone back to. I mean, how many times over the years have we seen a show focusing on the ability of a dog that's able to talk? Definitely. But apart from that, we have a show where friends have the ability to time travel. I'm talking about Best Friends Wherever, Whenever. I'm talking about a show like I Didn't Do It, which has become Disney's answer to Sunny with a Chance and So Random, their comedy sketch show. Really like what Olivia Holt and Piper Curta, Ryan Clarke are doing for that show. Looking forward to a very promising future. They've taken the cast of Jessie, put them on a new show called Bunk. Camp Kikiwaka is going places with Disney, and along with that we have reruns of Austin and Ally and Girl Meets World, obviously heading in a very promising direction, and that's a show that can be extended into the future. You can go easily 6 or 7 seasons with that one, with Roland Blanchard and Sabrina Carpenter's future obviously looking very promising, and obviously off of Boy Meets World from back in the 90s, you expect this one to have just as big, if not bigger, of a following, and I'm really looking forward to finding out what Ben Savage and Danielle Fishel are going to be doing this show along with Sabrina Carpenter and Roland Blanchard, who they are working with for the first time ever and bringing the best of the potential out of. Really looking forward to a very promising future for Girl Meets World, which I've often reiterated on this YouTube channel. And joining in all of this is obviously Liv and Maddie. I think it's great what Dove Cameron also is doing outside of these Disney Channel shows for the Disney Channel movies Cloud 9 and Descendants, one of the biggest events of the summer of 2015. We've seen this movie definitely overkill, but the thing is, the potential of Dove Cameron is really shining through with Descendants, and I think it's definitely indicating a very promising future. She played the role of the daughter of Maleficent in that movie, a very wicked, a very different sadistic side of Dove Cameron's characters coming out from that movie, and I've often said, you know, Dove Cameron just needs an opportunity to play someone different in the way of a role for a Disney Channel show or a Disney Channel movie, because sometimes these characters don't really allow us to see the fullest potential of someone like Dove Cameron, because you have this attitude of being so happy to be in a position, but if you change it up and you have some kind of a wicked side being showed by a Dove Cameron or an Olivia Holt, for instance, Olivia Holt was on shows like Kicking It and I Didn't Do It, and they changed it and they had her be in some superhero comedy shows that were done for I think Disney XD. I think she played the role of Spider-Girl for some animated shows when they purchased the right to Marvel. And we really saw a lot coming from Olivia Holt, and I think the same thing can be said for Dove Cameron. She just needs more of an opportunistic time and an opportunistic role to really show us what she's all about, either for Disney XD in the way of a Disney XD show that may be premiering down the road, or some kind of role for a superhero animated show. Something along those lines needs to happen for Dove Cameron, but even regardless of what she has coming up in the future, I'm still just as proud of Dove Cameron now as I was 3 or 4 years ago. Even though we may be conspicuous about, or skeptical rather, on what's going on with Dove Cameron, the thing is, I don't think these supporters, these fans of Dove Cameron are going anywhere anytime soon. And I don't think I'm wrong in having said anything that I have about Dove Cameron over the last at least 3 years. I have kept up with Dove Cameron as much as I possibly can. For you, I wish Dove Cameron the best of luck in the very near future. I have kept up with her posts on her Facebook page, on her Twitter, even on her Instagram account, and I didn't even have the Instagram app. I think it's amazing how these celebrities keep us updated with the social media updates. It's very easy to keep us updated in that formative loop. I think that it's a lot of pressure going with this, and I think that social media helps them a lot to keep us updated in that formative loop. I can't thank them enough for posting things on their Facebook page, tweeting it on Twitter, posting something on their Instagram feeds. Really, really high on what people like Dove Cameron are doing, and I think it's a surefire indication that we are going to be proud, more so than we ever have been, of someone like Dove Cameron. I said here at the top of the show, we should be hashtagging BAMWatt, and I still stand to that, and I still stand to the idea of one day seeing Dove Cameron on either the Emmy or the Grammy award-winning stage, along with the likes of Taylor Swift, Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato. They've all gotten to the pinnacle of their careers. They've all reached the potential of their peaks in entertainment, and I still stand to the idea of one day seeing Miss BAMWatt, Dove Cameron, on the Grammy award-winning stage. If you ever thought on anything I've said, you can always tweet me at Jonathan Clarke1, hashtagging BAMWatt or something along the lines in reference of Dove Cameron. Really looking forward to her future, and I couldn't be more excited about anything we could talk about in reference to entertainment. I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, BAMWatt, and I will talk to you again next week. Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.